battling the Saints. It is all happening this weekend on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Back here with Bart, Scott, we're going viral. Nikola Jokic went off for 18, 14, and 10 last night for his 5th triple-double of the season. And with the Nuggets' big man now being inserted into MVP conversations.
Nice.
Who better
Baby
to talk
Dirk right
to
there,
than
man.
former Super Bowl MVP Von Miller with the two Denver Stars changing jerseys.
All right, let me just say something real quick.
Say something real
Nikola
quick.
Jokic is on the path a lot of NBA players go on, which is underrated for a long time. And then so many people talk about how underrated they are. They become overrated. Nikola Jokic has been an excellent player on a very good team. But he cannot be on your MVP list unless your list goes 10 deep. Maybe 9th or 10th in the MVP conversation. Like,
oh, there we go. I love it. Here we go. We got what date here? We got January 11th. We got an update on who's 9th and 10th in the MVP race and the MVP. Great stuff.
I was just letting you. We're at the midway point of the season. You want me to go 1 through 9? I can if you like.
No, we don't want
Let me get 1 through 5.
And we don't
I'll take
want to hear
1
about
through 5.
that list. We don't want to hear about the conversation.
Don't start with
either Jenna and Deontay talking about MVP list, because that's where'd that list come from?
What?
Giannis won. Giannis won.
Here we go.
2.
He's going to do it anyway.
Whoa. Giannis won.
Giannis won.
Come on, man.
Watch the tape. Write this down. Watch some Bucks games. Get
Yellow
league pass.
You're not going to be able to see
Stop
it.
spending so much money on them suits.
I'm balling on the budget.
Spend some money on some league pass.
Can I use your code?
But tell him we got to talk some football. Back to the Cowboys now. They head west to take on the Rams Saturday night. A lot of great matchups in this one. You got 2 of the league's best running backs in Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley. You got 2 third-year quarterbacks in Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. And you got 2 very hungry teams looking to stay alive another weekend.
This is another game. As I continue to say, it's way back when we're 3-5 and our backs are against the wall. This is the same thing. Our backs are against the wall. We've got to go win a game, a very important game, and we're excited for our chance to go do that.
Big stage. We're playing at home. You know, we try and play for it all. So we start this week, and we got to finish strong and trying to make it happen.
All right, Bart, what's the biggest key, do you think, in this matchup? Is it going to come down to the running backs? Will it be the quarterbacks?
For me, it's definitely...
Or is it the defense?
For me, it's definitely the running backs and how this Dallas defense can try and take away Todd Gurley, who I think was in the conversation early on in the season for MVP before he got injured. And you look at what the Dallas Cowboys defense was able to do against a #1 rushing team last week, holding them to 27 yards. You know, they played that, 11 personnel, 1 tight end, one running back. And they have that lateral running game with Todd Gurley that turns into a power game, but it's pretty much about getting you going laterally and then finding the one cut, kind of like how people remember how Denver used to do. Well, what I love is the gap control in which the Dallas defense plays with. And on the second level, I want to see that collision course between Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith against Todd Gurley. If they can take him away and put it in Jared Goff's hands and put him in the phone booth like they did at the New Orleans Saints, we see if Jared Goff can take the next step, because he hasn't shown me that he can take the game away by himself if Gurley's taken out of it.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm with you. Jared Goff is the most important player in this game. If they have the ability to be able to attack Dallas's defense through the air and on the ground, there's no way Dallas is going to be able to win. So I think that the running game, it's going to be entertaining. You got great linebacker play of the Dallas Cowboys, and you have a great running scheme versus a rested Todd Gurley. Now, Todd Gurley, it's been a tale of 2 seasons. Todd Gurley before he got nicked up, and the Todd Gurley after that. After he got nicked up, it affected Jared Goff. It affected this offensive line. You put in Cooper Kupp being out as that safety blanket as an inside slot receiver. How much has the quarterback adjusted to not having him? So for me, it's about the quarterback and throwing the ball and attacking down the field. If you look at the first, say, 30 plays of the Rams attack and say, man, I believe that the coach is attacking the defense, that means they got confidence in the quarterback. And if they have confidence in the quarterback, I believe it's going to go throughout the rest of the team. I believe in Ndamukong Suh, they will take advantage of the lack of having Travis Frederick there as a starting all-pro center, as they're having young Connor Williams at the left guard. I believe Sue and Donald, I believe they eat up that interior offensive line, and it's put in the quarterback's hands, and Jared Goff gets it done there in the L.A. Coliseum.
Listen, Sue and Donald are obviously the keys for this Rams team defensively. Donald's been great all year, forcing turnovers and getting to the opposing quarterback. Sue has been disappointing. Even if you might say, well, the sacks are being taken away by Donald, fine. But this team's been so bad against the run. If Donald's going to take care of the pressures, the least Ndamukong Suh can be is a legitimate run stuffer. And this is the biggest game that Sue's ever played. He's played in 3 playoff games, played well in those 3 games, but they were all in the wild card round. The other part that would, I think the Rams will win, but the part that would concern me if I'm the Rams is they played back-to-back games against the Bears and Eagles, and they lost them both. And one thing that both those defenses did was they said, you know what, all that window dressing you do, we're not going to, as Bart would say, fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
You're so crazy, that's what you say. You're so crazy.
Right. We're not going to let that distract us from what we know you want to do. We know you're going to be in 11 personnel. We know you want to run the ball with Todd Gurley and then use our attention to Todd Gurley to open things up down the field. No matter what you do before the snap, that doesn't change what your actual goal is. So I do wonder if teams can look at the tape from those 2 games and say, okay, this is how you attack this Rams potent offense.
And to your point, right, when you talk about the smoke and mirrors, so you're talking about the ghost-like motion, the jet sweep, and all that stuff. And when you look at it, you strip all that away, it's a downhill running game. So what the Cowboys are going to do is they're going to play a defense where they don't run, where they don't react and shift. So that way they can keep their eyes where they need to have them. Because all that smoke and mirror stuff is just take your eye discipline away and get you looking at something when they're running something else somewhere else.
So, Cece, you said that for you, the most important person to keep your eye on is going to be Jared Goff. But if Dak Prescott doesn't have even close to the game he had at the end of the regular season and last week, the Cowboys don't really have a chance, do they?
Yeah, it becomes difficult for Dak Prescott because I believe they're going to force him to throw the ball. He'll have the least number of weapons available to him. Cole Beasley's been hampered by a high ankle sprain. The young tight end's been hampered, hadn't practiced all week, had a big week number 17, kind of disappeared in last week's game. Yeah. Who else are they able to get the ball to? The Rams and Wade Phillips are not going to let Amari Cooper pile up some type of 200-yard game. So who are going to be the others? Who are going to be? Michael Gallup, even though we know you complete less than 50% of your passes if you throw it to him. He needs to be able to have a big game for Dak and this offense to be able to stay balanced, to stay on the field, because in all these games, time of possession, it will be critical. You will start to see teams with the panic. I don't care if you say you're playing with house money. If Dallas is able to win this game, dominate time of possession, they'll get a comfort level playing on this field. Any team that is either trying to come from behind or their offense is able to stay on the field, there's a comfort level in being able to do that. Let's see which team can establish that. Both of these teams will be trying to do that from the beginning, Bart.
I mean, Cooper's going to be big in this game as well, but you understand that he's going against 2 guys that are physical at the line of scrimmage, want to bump and run. So I'm going to do my guy a favor. I'm going to put him in the slot. Because we understand that with the shifts in motion, we understand we're going to be able to identify for Dak if it's man-to-man coverage. So I put him in the slot so they can't get their hands on him, and then I create that space that they don't want. We both know that both of these guys are tremendous corners, but they are gamblers, and they'll fall for the banana and tailpipe. These are guys, I look at Peters, he reminds me of Delta O'Neal. He'll have 10 interceptions, and he'll have 10 bombs that he give up as well. So it's either boom or bust. Put Cooper in the slot so you can take the hands off of him, allow him to get a free release. You know he's quick inside of short area of space. That allows you to get that vertical passing game.
I like the fact of putting him in the slot because it does give him free releases. It plays to his strength as far as his overall quickness off the line. But in talking to Sanjay Lal, the wide receiver coach with Dallas, the one thing that he thought was really underrated with Amari was his deep speed. And he thought that he could make him a more efficient deep receiver. He didn't think that he was great. He thought he was good in short area space, thought he was good in the intermediate game, but he thought the most improved improvement was deep down the field. The one thing that the corners don't have for the Rams, they don't have the type of speed to be able to match Amari Cooper and those double moves. They are susceptible to double moves. So watch Amari Cooper. If Sanjay Lau, the wide receiver coach, gets his way, Amari Cooper will be elite in all three aspects: short area, intermediate, and get that deep passing game going.
And every defense, there's a discrepancy between what their numbers are defensively against the good quarterbacks and against the mediocre to bad quarterbacks. But the Rams' discrepancy is drastic. They've played 9 games this year against, I won't list them all, but against quarterbacks that we would consider below average. In those 9 games, 8 touchdowns, 15 picks, a quarterback rating allowed of 71. In the 7 games they've played against good quarterbacks, 22 touchdowns, 3 picks, a quarterback rating allowed of 120. That would be the highest quarterback rating in NFL history in a season. Where is Dak on that list? Where is Dak going to fall into the latter or the former?
And the surprising numbers about that being elite, non-elite, the Rams don't play great defense at home.
Right.
They play better defense on the road. So can Dak be that force multiplier, be that elite passer in the Coliseum, which we've seen other guys have success?
Great.
Man, for that money.
Bart, thank you very much. Great. Coming up, get Andrew Luck and the Colts take down.
Good weekend to you, man.
Patty Mahomes, Chiefs. That's next on
make sure you
First
put
Things
your
First.
bag on you.